First Contact and Ultimatum. The holographic display bathed General Sarah Chen's office in an eerie blue glow as she studied the massive objects decelerating into Earth's orbit. 7 crystalline vessels, each larger than Manhattan, had appeared from quantum space just hours ago. Their arrival had thrown every military installation on Earth into high alert. "Report," Chen commanded, her dark eyes fixed on the central vessel's peculiar geometric patterns. Dr. Marcus Rodriguez, Earth's leading genophysicist, cleared his throat. "The ships are composed of materials we've never encountered. Their energy signatures suggest technology centuries beyond ours. But there's something odd about their approach vector." "Odd how?" "They're making no attempt to mask their presence. It's almost like—" Rodriguez paused, frowning. "Like they want to be seen. Like this is a show of force." Chen had survived 3 wars by trusting her instincts. Right now, those instincts were screaming that humanity was about to face its greatest challenge. The communication came simultaneously to every device on Earth. Television screens, phones, computers, all displayed the same image. A tall, ethereal being with iridescent skin and multiple sets of eyes arranged in a mesmerizing pattern. "People of Earth," the alien spoke in perfect English, its voice resonating with an artificial harmony. "I am High Overseer Vex Thor of the Galactic Federation. We have come to offer you salvation." Chen's fingers tightened on her desk. In her experience, when someone offered salvation, they usually wanted something in return. "Your species has reached a critical juncture," Vex Thor continued. "Your technological advancement has drawn the attention of forces beyond your comprehension. The Federation offers you membership in our Protected Worlds initiative. Accept, and you will receive our guidance, our protection, and access to technologies beyond your dreams." Rodriguez whispered, "General, their energy output just spiked. They're scanning the entire planet." The alien's next words confirmed Chen's worst fears. "You have 24 hours to accept our generous offer. Should you decline—" A pause, perfectly calculated for effect. "Well, there are many predatory species in our galaxy who would see Earth as a tempting target." As emergency meetings convened worldwide, Chen authorized a covert operation that would change humanity's fate. Deep beneath the Antarctic ice, in a facility known only to a handful of people, a team of scientists made a discovery that shattered their understanding of the visitors. Dr. Elena Santos, head of quantum analytics, burst into Chen's secure briefing room 6 hours later. Her dark skin was pale with shock. "General, you need to see this." She projected a complex data pattern into the air. "We've decoded their quantum transmissions. The Protected Worlds initiative. It's not what they claim." The data told a horrifying story. The Federation wasn't protecting worlds. They were farming them. Each protected civilization was gradually shaped, guided, and harvested for resources, technology, and biological materials. It was colonialism on a galactic scale, wrapped in a veneer of benevolence. "How many worlds?" Chen asked, her voice tight. 47 so far. Some have been under Federation control for centuries. They're stripped of resources, their populations regulated, their development carefully controlled to serve Federation needs. Chen stood, her decision made. "Get me the Security Council. Now." The next 18 hours were a blur of classified meetings, encrypted communications, and frantic preparation. When Chen stood before the United Nations Security Council, her message was clear. "We cannot accept their offer," she declared. "But we also cannot reveal that we know their true purpose. If we openly refuse, they'll simply take what they want by force. We need time, and we need them to believe they've won." The Chinese representative leaned forward. "What are you suggesting, General?" "A deception. We accept their offer, but on our terms. While they think they're controlling us, we prepare. Earth has one advantage they don't expect. We know their game before it begins." The council chambers erupted in debate, but Chen's plan ultimately prevailed. When Vex Thor's image appeared again, humanity presented a carefully crafted response. The nations of Earth have reached consensus, the UN Secretary-General announced. We accept membership in the Protected Worlds Initiative, with one condition. We request a 5-year transition period to prepare our world for integration with Federation standards. Vexthor's multiple eyes flickered in what might have been amusement. 3 years, he countered. No more. We will establish an advisory presence on Earth to guide your development. Agreed, the Secretary-General replied, maintaining a perfect mask of grateful subordination. As the transmission ended, Chen turned to her staff. 3 years. We have 3 years to prepare humanity for the greatest fight in our history. She activated a secure channel to the Antarctic facility. Dr. Santos, initiate Project Phoenix. We're going to show the Federation why you should never underestimate a species that evolved as prey, but learned to become predators. In the depths of space, the Federation ships settled into orbit, their crews confident in another successful acquisition. They didn't notice the quantum fluctuations as Earth's hidden facilities sprang into action. They didn't detect the subtle changes in human communication patterns as a planetary resistance network took shape. And they certainly didn't realize that their careful scanning of Earth's technology had missed humanity's most powerful weapons: ingenuity, determination, and the fierce drive to remain free. The game was set. The Federation thought they were beginning a careful harvest of yet another primitive world. Instead, they had just started a countdown to their own reckoning. Humanity had 3 years to prepare a surprise that would shake the galaxy to its foundations. General Chen looked at the holographic display of the Federation ships, now colored red to mark them as hostile. "And so it begins," she whispered. "Welcome to Earth, your greatest mistake." The hidden arsenal. 2 years into Earth's protected status, Federation observer Kelksar strode through the United Earth Government building in Geneva, his iridescent robes flowing behind him. His secondary eyes scanned for threats, while his primary set focused on the datapad containing Earth's latest development reports. Everything appeared satisfactory, depressingly so. "Another productive quarter, General Chen," he announced, his artificially translated voice echoing in the conference room. "Your species continues to implement our guidance with admirable efficiency." He paused, searching for signs of resentment or rebellion in the human leader's face. Chen smiled pleasantly, the perfect image of a compliant protectorate official. "The Federation's wisdom has revolutionized our understanding of sustainable energy and medical science. We are grateful for your guidance." Kelksar's sensory tendrils twitched slightly. Something about the humans had always bothered him. They were too accepting, too cooperative. In his centuries of managing protected worlds, he'd never seen a species adapt so quickly to Federation oversight. What he couldn't know was that 30 kilometers beneath his feet, in a facility shielded by experimental quantum fields, humanity's true progress was taking a very different direction. Dr. Elena Santos stood before a semicircle of holographic displays, her eyes reflecting streams of data. The chamber around her hummed with energy as the most powerful quantum computer ever built by human hands processed the results of their latest breakthrough. "Run it again," she commanded. "Full spectrum analysis." The air shimmered as a beam of concentrated energy struck a replica of Federation shield technology. The shield held for precisely 3.4 seconds before catastrophically failing. Dr. Rodriguez, now heading the Weapons Development Division, allowed himself a rare smile. That's the 4th consecutive success. The theory was right. Their defensive systems have a fundamental vulnerability. Santos nodded, her fingers dancing through the holographic data. They designed their technology to last centuries, focusing on stability over adaptability. But they never considered that someone might sacrifice longevity for raw power. The quantum computer displayed its final analysis. Federation shields were designed to deflect and absorb energy gradually, spreading it across vast arrays of crystalline matrices. But a sufficiently powerful burst of concentrated energy, properly modulated to exploit quantum resonance patterns, could overwhelm the shields before they could properly distribute the load. "How soon can we begin mass production?" The question came from General Chen, who had just entered through the facility's heavily guarded quantum elevator. Rodriguez consulted his tablets. The automated factories in the asteroid belt are ready. Using the Federation's own supply ships as cover, we can have enough weapons to arm our entire hidden fleet within 4 months. Chen's expression remained neutral, but her eyes gleamed. Show me the rest. Santos led them through security airlock after airlock, eventually reaching a vast underground chamber. Inside, rows of sleek vessels stood in various stages of completion. They looked nothing like the clumsy ships Earth officially produced under Federation supervision. These were predators, built for speed and lethality. The Phantom Fleet, Santos announced with pride. Each ship incorporates everything we've learned about Federation weaknesses: quantum-masked hulls, burst-fire energy weapons, and neural interfaces that take advantage of human reaction speeds. Chen walked along the closest vessel, running her hand along its dark hull. How many? 300 ready now. Another 500 by the deadline, all crewed by volunteers who've undergone the neural enhancement procedure. That had been another discovery. Human brains processed information up to 3 times faster than Federation species. By directly linking pilots to their ships through neural interfaces, Earth's vessels could execute maneuvers that would be impossible for Federation crews to match. And the other projects. Santos brought up a new hologram showing a complex network of quantum-entangled communication nodes. The shadow net is operational. Once we begin, they won't be able to track or intercept our communications. We've also perfected the quantum virus. When uploaded to their networks, it will exploit their reliance on stable, predictable systems. Rodriguez added, the Federation values order above all else. Their computer systems are designed to be unchanging, reliable. They never developed the kind of adaptive security we have on Earth because they never needed it. One massive cyber attack using quantum algorithms they've never encountered. And their entire command and control structure falls apart. Chen finished. Perfect. A junior officer rushed into the chamber, his face tense. General, we have a problem. Observer Kelksar is requesting an inspection of the Lunar Development Center. He says he detected unusual energy signatures. Chen's mind raced through contingencies they'd prepared for exactly this scenario. Initiate Protocol Mirage. Dr. Santos, make sure our quantum masking holds. Dr. Rodriguez, activate the decoy facility. As her staff sprang into action, Chen allowed herself a moment of grim satisfaction. The Federation thought they were carefully guiding Earth's development, never suspecting that their every move was revealing new vulnerabilities for humanity to exploit. In orbit, Federation ships continued their routine patrols, their crews confident in their absolute technological superiority. They didn't realize they were watching a carefully choreographed performance. Earth appeared to be developing exactly as planned, like all other protected worlds before it. But humanity had turned the Federation's greatest strength, their rigid, unchanging nature, into a critical weakness. While the aliens expected compliance based on centuries of experience with other species, Earth was preparing a response unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. In her private office, Chen reviewed the latest readiness reports. The pieces were almost in place. Soon, the Federation would learn that humanity had never been prey. They had merely been patient. 1 more year, she whispered to herself. 1 more year, and we show them what happens when you try to cage a species that has spent its entire history learning to break free. The countdown to humanity's revenge continued, hidden beneath a carefully maintained facade of submission. The Federation's greatest mistake wasn't underestimating Earth's technology. It was underestimating humanity's capacity for deception, innovation, and the sheer unstoppable drive to remain free. Operation Trojan Horse. Federation High Observer Kelksart stood in his command center aboard the crystalline flagship, reviewing Earth's latest technological submission. The humans had just presented their prototype for an improved cargo vessel, designed under Federation guidelines. Its specifications were exactly what he expected from a developing protected world: moderately improved efficiency, carefully regulated weapon systems, and properly limited quantum drive capacity. Authorized production. He commanded his subordinates. Standard monitoring protocols. One of his junior observers, fresh from the Federation's academy, raised a concern. "Sir, I've noticed an unusual pattern in their development rate. They're progressing faster than our models predict, but always within acceptable parameters." Kelksar dismissed the concern with a wave of his primary manipulator. Humans are an industrious species. Their rapid adaptation is precisely why we selected them for protection. Deep beneath the Antarctic ice, General Chen received confirmation of the Federation's authorization. She allowed herself a thin smile as she activated the quantum-secured communication network. All commands, Operation Trojan Horse is now active. Proceed according to plan. Across Earth and throughout the solar system, hidden facilities hum to life. The real cargo vessel prototype, the one Kelksar had just approved, was about to make history. The ship launched the next day, its hull gleaming in the sunlight as it departed Earth's atmosphere. Captain Maya Patil sat in the command chair, her neural interface quietly connecting her to every system aboard. On the surface, she commanded a simple transport carrying medical supplies to Mars colony. In reality, her ship was humanity's most sophisticated weapon. Federation control. This is Earth Transport Hermes requesting clearance for standard Mars run. She transmitted, her voice carefully modulated to convey the right mix of respect and routine. Clearance granted, Hermes. Maintain designated corridor. As the ship passed the moon's orbit, Patil activated a secure quantum channel. Phoenix Actual, this is Hermes. Phase 1 initiated. In her command center, Chen watched multiple holographic displays tracking every aspect of the operation. Understood, Hermes. You are go for Phase 2. Good hunting. The Hermes continued its seemingly routine journey until it reached the halfway point to Mars. Then, everything changed. Federation control, we're detecting unusual fluctuations in our quantum drive, Patil reported, injecting just the right amount of concern into her voice. Requesting technical assistance. Kelksar himself reviewed the data. The readings showed exactly what he would expect from a malfunctioning human-built drive system. Dispatch Support Vessel 3 to assist, he ordered. The Federation support ship approached the Hermes, its sensors detecting nothing unusual about the apparently disabled transport. As it moved into range, Patil allowed herself a predatory smile. "Now," she whispered. The Hermes's outer hull shimmered and dissolved, revealing its true form. Where there had been a bulky transport vessel, now stood a sleek warship bristling with weapons that shouldn't have existed. Before the Federation crew could react, the Hermes opened fire. Concentrated bursts of quantum-modulated energy struck the support ship's shields. The Federation's defensive systems, designed to gradually absorb and dissipate energy over time, were overwhelmed by the sheer intensity of the attack. The shields collapsed in seconds. Impossible. Kelksar's sensory tendrils writhed in shock as he watched the support ship's destruction. All vessels converge on that location. Contain this rebellion. But the Hermes was already executing maneuvers that defied Federation tactical doctrine. The neural interface allowed Patil to react 3 times faster than her alien opponents, making the ship dance through space in ways that seemed to violate physics itself. Phoenix Actual. Phase 2 complete, she reported calmly. Moving to Phase 3. Chen's voice came back clear through the quantum network. Acknowledged. All hidden fleet vessels. Execute Operation Shadowfall. Across the solar system, hundreds of ships suddenly appeared where there should have been nothing. They emerged from asteroid bases, from beneath the surfaces of moons, and from quantum-masked orbits around Earth itself. Each vessel was crewed by neural-linked pilots and armed with weapons designed specifically to exploit Federation weaknesses. Kelksar watched in horror as his tactical displays filled with hostile contacts. How? He demanded. Their technology was regulated, monitored. The answer came in the form of a transmission from Chen herself, broadcast on all Federation frequencies. You assumed we would develop as you expected, following the same patterns as other protected worlds. That was your first mistake. Your second was believing that because you could see our official progress, you were seeing everything. The Federation fleet tried to organize a defense, but their rigid tactical doctrine was useless against an enemy that didn't fight according to any known parameters. Human ships struck from impossible angles, their neural-linked crews reacting faster than Federation commanders could issue orders. In his command center, Kelxar finally understood the truth. The humans hadn't been adapting to Federation control. They had been studying it, learning its weaknesses, and preparing for this moment from the very beginning. All Federation vessels, he broadcast, his artificial voice translation unable to fully hide his fear, initiate emergency protocols. We must contain this before. His transmission cut off as the Herms appeared seemingly out of nowhere, its weapons already firing. The last thing Kelxar saw before his shields failed was Captain Patel's face on his command screen, her expression one of grim satisfaction. "Welcome to Earth," she said softly. "We hope you've enjoyed your stay." As the Federation's carefully maintained order descended into chaos, Chen sent one final message to all Earth forces. Operation Trojan Horse is complete. Begin liberation operations. Show them why humanity was never meant to be contained. The real war for Earth's freedom had begun, and the Federation was about to learn that 3 years of apparent submission had merely been humanity's way of preparing for victory. The Great Deception. The Federation Council chamber hadn't seen such chaos in over 3 millennia. Representatives from 200 species argued frantically as reports of Earth's rebellion spread through protected space. On the massive holographic display dominating the chamber, tactical maps showed Federation control crumbling across multiple sectors. Supreme Counselor Vexthar, his iridescent scales now dulled with stress, struggled to maintain order. "The situation is contained," he insisted, even as another red alert flashed across the display. "Earth's rebellion will be crushed like all others before it." A transmission cut through their debate, overriding the chamber's security protocols. General Chen's image appeared before them, her expression calm but determined. "Honorable Council members, I'm afraid you're mistaken. This isn't just Earth's rebellion anymore." The display shifted, showing Federation ships across protected space, suddenly turning their weapons on their own command vessels. Dozens of supposedly primitive worlds revealed hidden fleets of their own, all built using Earth's quantum-masked technology. "Did you really think we spent 3 years preparing only to free ourselves?" Chen's voice carried a hint of satisfaction. "While you watched our official development, we were sharing our discoveries with every world under your protection." The council chamber erupted in fresh pandemonium. Vexthar's secondary hearts nearly stopped as he realized the full scope of humanity's deception. They hadn't just been building weapons. They'd been building an alliance. In Earth's quantum-shielded command center, Dr. Santos monitored the cascade of system failures spreading through the Federation's network. "The quantum virus is working exactly as designed," she reported. "Their entire command and control structure is collapsing." Chen nodded, watching as decades of careful Federation control unraveled in hours. "Activate the Shadow Network. It's time for Phase 4. Across protected space, quantum-encrypted communications activated between rebellious worlds. Ships that had once been Federation vessels, now crewed by newly freed species, coordinated their attacks using human-designed neural interfaces. The Federation's rigid, predictable tactics proved useless against this unprecedented cooperation between species they had fought safely contained. On New Eden, a world that had been under Federation control for centuries, the local governor watched in disbelief as supposedly primitive farmers revealed sophisticated weapon emplacements hidden beneath their fields. Their leaders stepped forward, holding a quantum communicator of human design. "We've had enough of your protection," she declared, her people cheering behind her. "Earth showed us the truth and taught us how to fight back." Similar scenes played out across protected space. Each world had its own hidden arsenal, its own trained resistance, all coordinated through Earth's quantum network. The Federation's greatest strength, its unchanging, predictable nature, had become its critical weakness. In orbit above Earth, Captain Patel led a fleet of hybrid vessels, ships that combined human innovation with technology secretly shared by other protected worlds. Battle Group Phoenix, execute Pattern Delta, she commanded through her neural link. Her ships moved as one, exploiting weaknesses in Federation formations that had remained unchanged for centuries. A Federation commander, watching his forces crumble before this unprecedented assault, finally understood. They didn't just study our technology, he transmitted in his final message to the Council. They studied us, our patterns, our thinking, everything we thought made us superior. Back in the Council chamber, Vexthar received an urgent message from the Federation's central AI network. The quantum virus had evolved, using the Federation's own processing power to multiply its effects. Centuries of accumulated data and control protocols were being corrupted or exposed to the rebellion. "Impossible," he whispered. "Our systems are perfect, unchanging, eternal." "That's exactly the problem," Chen's voice replied, her transmission still overriding their supposedly impenetrable security. "You built perfect systems for a static universe, but life isn't static. It adapts. It evolves, just as we did." Dr. Rodriguez's voice joined the transmission. "Your technology is impressive, but you stopped innovating centuries ago. You became so convinced of your superiority that you forgot the one universal truth. The moment you stop adapting is the moment you start dying." The Federation's carefully maintained order continued to collapse. Protected worlds that had been safely controlled for generations now revealed capabilities their overlords had never suspected. Earth had done more than share technology. They had shared hope, strategy, and a burning desire for freedom. In her command center, Chen received victory reports from across the galaxy. The Federation's grip was breaking, their fleets in disarray, their control systems compromised. But she took no pleasure in their defeat. This was never about revenge. It was about liberation. "Send the final transmission," she ordered. Throughout Federation space, on every quantum channel and communication frequency, a simple message began to play. It wasn't a threat or a demand for surrender. Instead, it was an invitation, a call for all species, including those who had served the Federation, to join in building something new. The age of protection was ending. In its place, a new alliance was forming, one built on mutual respect, shared innovation, and the understanding that true strength comes not from control, but from the freedom to evolve. Liberation and New Dawn. 3 months after Earth's rebellion sparked a galactic revolution, representatives from over 500 species gathered in a massive space station orbiting humanity's homeworld. The station itself was a symbol of the new era, built through collaboration between formerly protected worlds, combining technologies and innovations that the Federation had tried to suppress for centuries. General Chen stood at the central podium, her dress uniform adorned with a single new symbol, a phoenix rising from broken chains. Below her, the assembly chamber held an unprecedented gathering. Former Federation officials sat alongside leaders of liberated worlds, all united by the understanding that the old order was gone forever. "We didn't fight this war to replace one form of control with another," Chen began, her voice carrying to every corner of the vast chamber. "We fought for something the Federation never understood, the right of every species to choose its own path." The holographic displays around the chamber showed scenes from across the galaxy. Federation control centers being transformed into open research facilities, protected worlds dismantling the surveillance systems that had monitored them for generations. Ships of all designs moving freely through space, no longer bound by Federation restrictions. Dr. Santos stepped forward, now heading the newly formed Galactic Scientific Exchange. The Federation's greatest error wasn't their technology, she explained, bringing up displays of their latest discoveries. It was their belief that progress could be controlled, measured, and restricted. They forgot that true advancement comes from diversity, of thought, of approach, of evolution itself. In the space around Earth, Captain Patel commanded a joint training exercise that would have been impossible months ago. Ships from 20 different species maneuvered together, each bringing their own unique capabilities and perspectives to the Alliance's defense force. Neural interfaces adapted for every species' unique biology, she reported through the quantum network, each bringing their own strengths to our shared protection. The Federation's former Supreme Counselor Vexthar, now serving as a liaison between old and new orders, rose to address the Assembly. His once proud bearing was tempered by hard-earned wisdom. For 10,000 years, we believed we were preserving civilization, he admitted. Instead, we were stagnating it. Earth showed us that true civilization isn't about control. It's about growth, change, and the courage to face the unknown together. Dr. Rodriguez presented the next phase of their shared future. The holographic displays showed a massive project already under construction, a network of quantum gates that would allow free travel throughout the galaxy. No more restricted zones, he announced. No more controlled development. Knowledge, resources, and opportunities will flow freely between all worlds that choose to participate. The Assembly erupted in approval, but Chen raised her hand for silence. However, we face a new challenge. Freedom brings responsibility. Some will see our open society as an opportunity for exploitation. She gestured to Captain Patel, who activated a new tactical display. It showed the combined fleet, not a tool of oppression like the Federation's Armada, but a defensive force committed to protecting the liberty of all member worlds. We propose the formation of the Galactic Defense Alliance, Chen continued, not to control, but to protect. Any world may join, any may leave, and all have an equal voice in its direction. As if to emphasize the difference from the old order, the newest addition to Earth's fleet appeared on the display. The Phoenix, a massive vessel designed through collaboration between 20 former protected worlds, represented everything the Federation had feared: unfettered innovation, shared knowledge, and the power of diverse perspectives united in common cause. The Federation feared change because they couldn't control it, Chen declared. We embrace it because we know that change, evolution itself, is the only constant in the universe. The vote was unanimous. The Galactic Defense Alliance was born, with Earth serving not as its ruler, but as one of many equal partners. Former Federation worlds, newly liberated planets, and even some independent systems that had long avoided Federation notice began applying for membership. In her private office after the Assembly, Chen found a message waiting from a quantum probe at the galaxy's edge. New civilizations had been detected, emerging species taking their first steps into space. Under the old order, they would have been marked for protection and control. Send them our greeting, Chen instructed. Not as rulers or protectors, but as equals. Let them choose their own path, develop at their own pace. We'll be here if they need us. Dr. Santos joined her, watching the distant stars through the office's quantum-enhanced viewport. You know, humanity's greatest achievement wasn't defeating the Federation, she mused. It was showing the galaxy a better way. Chen nodded, remembering those tense days when Earth first faced Federation control. They thought they were containing a primitive species, she said softly. Instead, they inspired a revolution, not just of technology, but of thought. As ships of all designs and origins moved freely through space around them, Chen reflected on humanity's role in the galaxy. They had proved themselves not just as warriors or innovators, but as catalysts for change. The Federation had sought to prevent chaos by imposing order. Humanity had shown that true stability comes not from control, but from freedom, the freedom to grow, to change, and to face the future together. The galaxy was entering a new age, not an age of protection or control, but an age of liberation, cooperation, and infinite possibility. And somewhere out there, other species were beginning their own journeys to the stars, knowing they would find not masters or protectors, but allies waiting to welcome them as equals. The time of walls and chains was over. The future belonged to those brave enough to embrace change, strong enough to protect freedom, and wise enough to learn from each other. Humanity had lit the flame. Now, together with their new allies, they would ensure it never went out.